We live in a world obsessed with extremes, extreme diets, extreme workouts, extreme goals. From the moment we turn 60, 70, or 80, it feels like the pressure to do more intensifies. More exercise, more vitamins, more supplements, more hustle to stay young and healthy. But what if the real secret to living a long, fulfilling life, a life that stretches well into your 90s and beyond, isn't about pushing harder or doing more? It's easy to believe that longevity depends on relentless physical activity, hours spent in the gym, or mastering the most intense fitness routines. These ideas have been drilled into our minds for decades. But the truth, drawn from decades of research and the lives of those who have quietly flourished into their late 90s, is far more nuanced. Longevity is not a race. It's a delicate dance, a harmony between body, mind, and spirit. It's about how you treat your body with kindness, how you nurture your mental and emotional well-being, and how you create a daily rhythm that supports healing and resilience. Think about it. Those who live long aren't necessarily the ones who run marathons or lift the heaviest weights. Often, they are people who have mastered the art of balance, moving their bodies just enough to stay strong, breathing deeply to stay calm, eating mindfully to fuel their cells, and resting fully to allow repair. But beyond the physical, there's something even more powerful: the way they think about aging itself. Instead of fearing the passing years, they embrace them with acceptance and curiosity. They find meaning and joy in everyday moments, cultivating peace that far outweighs any physical exertion. Science is beginning to catch up to what ancient wisdom has known all along: that longevity is deeply connected to mental peace, emotional balance, and living with purpose. These invisible, intangible qualities are the foundation of true health. So, as we begin this journey together, I invite you to shift your perspective. Let go of the myth that more exercise alone will extend your life. Instead, open your heart and mind to a holistic understanding, one that honors the intricate connection between your body, mind, and spirit. Because the path to 95, 100, or even beyond isn't paved with endless sweat and strain. It's paved with wisdom, intention, and a profound respect for the rhythms of life. Let's explore this path, one step at a time, and discover what it truly means to live long, live well, and live fully. For decades, the message has been loud and clear: exercise is good, so more must be better. We see countless headlines urging seniors to push harder, lift heavier, and run faster to stay young. It's a narrative so ingrained that many older adults feel pressured to become mini-athletes, training like their younger selves. But here's the hard truth that few talk about: excessive exercise can sometimes do more harm than good, especially as we age. Our bodies change in profound ways as we grow older. Bones become more fragile, joints less flexible, and muscles lose some of their resilience. When we push past our natural limits without respect, the wear and tear can accumulate silently, leading to injuries that take longer to heal, chronic pain, and even a decline in overall function. Imagine a delicate clock, every gear and spring precisely tuned. Now imagine forcing that clock to run at twice its speed every day. Eventually, something will break. Our aging bodies are much like that clock. The very exercise that's meant to strengthen us can, if done excessively or without proper care, accelerate damage instead of preventing it. Several studies have highlighted the risks. For example, overtraining in seniors has been linked to increased inflammation, stress on the cardiovascular system, and higher chances of fractures or muscle strains. This is not a call to stop moving, far from it. It's a call to rethink how we move. It's essential to distinguish between healthy physical activity and the myth that more exercise always equals better health. Overexertion can lead to exhaustion, weakened immunity, and even mental burnout. For many seniors, chasing the idea of intense workouts can become a source of anxiety rather than joy. Beyond the physical toll, there's an emotional cost to this myth. When exercise feels like a punishment or an obligation to fight aging, It drains motivation and steals the joy of movement. And ironically, it can push people away from the very habits that would support their longevity. True wellness for seniors comes from honoring the body's signals, knowing when to push gently and when to rest fully. It's about quality, not quantity. It's about listening deeply to what your body needs today, not what you wish it could do like it did decades ago. So, before lacing up those running shoes with the mindset of, "I have to do more," consider this. Longevity isn't won in sweat-soaked sprints or grueling gym sessions. It's won in the wisdom to move mindfully, in harmony with the body's natural rhythms, and with the grace to slow down when needed. There's a quiet power in gentle, steady movement, a power that often goes unnoticed in a culture obsessed with intensity. For those who want to live well into their 90s, it's not about conquering mountains or clocking endless miles. Instead, it's about the simple, consistent actions that nurture the body day by day. Think about the elders you know who move with ease. Maybe they stroll through their garden, stretch slowly with the sunrise, or practice Tai Chi in the park. These movements might look small, even unremarkable, but they carry profound benefits that accumulate over time. Moderate movement supports balance, flexibility, and circulation without overwhelming the body's capacity to recover. Unlike high-intensity workouts, these activities gently coax the muscles and joints into health, preventing stiffness and fragility that often come with aging. Consistency is the secret ingredient here. It's far better to move in a manageable way every day than to push hard once and then rest for weeks due to injury or exhaustion. Small, deliberate habits create a foundation of strength that grows steadily, a foundation that supports not just longevity, but vibrant health. Science backs this up. Studies show that seniors who engage in moderate, regular physical activity have better cardiovascular health, stronger bones, and improved mental clarity. The movement doesn't have to be complicated. Walking, gentle yoga, swimming, or even light dancing can stimulate the body in healing ways. But it's not only about the body. These consistent movements offer a rhythm to life that soothes the mind and nurtures the spirit. They invite mindfulness, helping seniors connect with their bodies and the present moment. This connection, in turn, reduces stress and fosters a sense of well-being that radiates outward into every aspect of life. Moderate movement also builds resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, illness, or injury. It teaches patience and self-compassion, reminding us that progress is a journey, not a race. So, the real secret isn't how intensely you exercise, but how lovingly and consistently you care for your body. It's a daily conversation between you and your muscles, joints, and breath. A gentle dialogue that keeps you strong, flexible, and alive. Embrace the power of moderate movement. Let it become a sacred ritual that honors your body's wisdom, allowing you to thrive with grace and vitality, one step at a time. When we think about living a long, healthy life, the focus often lands on physical health, diet, exercise, medicine. Yet beneath the surface lies a force even more powerful and less visible, our mental and emotional well-being. It's here, in the unseen realm of our thoughts and feelings, that the true foundation for longevity is laid. Scientific research increasingly shows that a peaceful mind and balanced emotions play a pivotal role in how long and well we live. Stress, anxiety, loneliness. These silent saboteurs can quietly erode our bodies, triggering inflammation, weakening the immune system, and accelerating aging. On the other hand, cultivating positive emotions like gratitude, joy, and connection acts like a healing balm, boosting resilience and promoting cellular health. Think about the elders who seem to glow from within, those who face life's challenges with calmness and acceptance. Their secret isn't just in what they eat or how much they move, it's in how they nurture their inner world. Mental and emotional health is like the soil from which the garden of physical health grows. Without rich, nourishing soil, even the strongest plants struggle to thrive. But when the soil is fertile, roots grow deep, and the entire plant flourishes. This means caring for your mental health is not a luxury, it's a necessity for longevity. Practices such as mindfulness, meditation, journaling, or simply connecting with loved ones are powerful tools to cultivate emotional balance. Moreover, embracing impermanence and letting go of harsh judgments about aging can transform the way we experience our later years. Acceptance frees us from unnecessary suffering, allowing peace to flourish. So, as you continue on this path to 95 and beyond, remember, nurturing your mind and heart is as vital as any pill or workout. It's the hidden power that fuels your entire being, a force that quietly shapes every cell in your body. In this invisible sanctuary lies the greatest gift you can give yourself, a life rich not only in years but in joy, peace, and true health. When we talk about longevity, we often jump to movement or mindset, but there are two quiet giants that are too often overlooked: nutrition and rest. These pillars don't shout for attention, but they hold the foundation of our health, especially as we age. Nutrition is more than just eating healthy foods. It's about providing the body with precise fuel it needs to repair, regenerate, and thrive. The older we get, the more our bodies crave nutrient-dense, wholesome foods rich in vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and healthy fats that support every cell and organ. But here's the catch. It's not about eating more, but about eating smarter. Many seniors fall into the trap of consuming empty calories or ignoring subtle signs of nutrient deficiencies. This slowly chips away at energy, immunity, and vitality. Imagine your body as a finely tuned orchestra. Nutrition is the sheet music that guides each instrument to play in harmony. Without the right notes, the melody falters, and so does your health. Equally important is rest, the sacred time when the body heals, consolidates memories, and rejuvenates its defenses. As we age, quality sleep becomes a precious resource, yet it's often disrupted by stress, pain, or poor habits. Skipping on rest is like trying to run a marathon on a broken engine. No matter how well you fuel it, without repair time, your body's performance deteriorates. The science is clear. Seniors who prioritize both nutrition and restful sleep tend to have better cognitive function, stronger immune systems, and longer lifespans. These pillars work in tandem. Nutritious food supports restorative sleep, and good sleep enhances nutrient absorption. To embrace these overlooked pillars means to honor your body's wisdom. It means choosing meals that nourish not just hunger but health, and crafting nightly rituals that invite deep, healing rest. By weaving mindful nutrition and dedicated rest into your daily life, you build a resilient body and a peaceful mind, a perfect harmony that sustains you through every decade. Longevity is often measured by numbers, birthdays celebrated, candles on a cake, years marked on a calendar. But true living stretches far beyond these figures. To live well beyond years is to embrace a deeper understanding of existence, a philosophy that transcends the physical and touches the essence of being. As we age, the question shifts from how long will I live to how meaningfully will I live. It's a subtle but profound change, because years alone don't guarantee fulfillment or peace. The richness of life comes from the quality of our experience, the relationships we nurture, the purpose we pursue, and the wisdom we cultivate. The ancient philosophers taught that life's ultimate goal is eudaimonia, flourishing through virtue, balance, and self-awareness. In today's world, this wisdom resonates deeply for seniors seeking not just to add days to life, but life to days. Consider the art of acceptance. Aging inevitably brings loss of youth, strength, even some dreams. But acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It's a courageous embrace of reality, a letting go of resistance that frees the spirit to find new meaning and joy in what remains. Living well beyond years also means honoring interconnectedness. We are not isolated beings, but threads woven into the vast tapestry of humanity and nature. Our health, happiness, and longevity ripple outward, touching family, community, and the earth itself. This holistic view invites us to cultivate compassion for ourselves and others, and to live in harmony with the rhythms of life. It encourages daily acts of kindness, gratitude, and reflection that nourish the soul. Ultimately, longevity is a dance between holding on and letting go, between striving and surrendering. It's a journey inward as much as outward, a deepening of presence, awareness, and love. So, as you move closer to that 95-year milestone and beyond, remember, the secret to truly long life lies not just in the body's endurance, but in the heart's capacity to embrace life fully with grace, courage, and profound wisdom. The journey to 95 and beyond is not paved with quick fixes or grand gestures. It's built quietly, day by day, through choices that honor your body, mind, and spirit. It's about moving with intention, nourishing with care, resting deeply, and nurturing a peaceful heart. This path invites patience, compassion, and above all, consistency. Because longevity is less about how hard you push and more about how well you sustain yourself in body, mind, and soul. Remember, the true secret lies in balance. Moderate movement, mindful nutrition, restful sleep, and emotional well-being, all woven together by a philosophy of acceptance and purpose. As you step forward on this journey, let these insights guide you gently but firmly. Your path to 95 isn't just about adding years to your life, but adding life to your years, rich with meaning, joy, and health. If you found value in this message and want to discover more about how to thrive gracefully in your golden years, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us create more content that empowers you to live your best life at every age. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of longevity. Here's to your vibrant journey ahead, strong, wise, and full of life.